First of all, the idea that Hezbollah and Lebanon are two distinct entities is ludicrous. Hezbollah is a political party, not just a militia movement, not just a political movement, but a political party, part of the Lebanese government, an important part of the Lebanese government. Hezbollah is Lebanon, and Lebanon is Hezbollah. That's the new reality, one that Netanyahu and the Israelis clearly haven't grasped. The other thing, your entire statement opening up focused solely on Israel's strikes against Lebanon. War's a two-way street, buddy. Lebanon, Hezbollah, is striking Israel. And this is the important fact, because the besides my dogs taking umbrage at what I'm saying, this is the danger of buying a puppy. He just decides to bark whenever he wants to. And right now they're chasing a cat around the floor.
Maybe someone is at the door.
It is what it is. But Hezbollah is striking back at Israel. And this is the important thing. You see, this war is an extension of politics by other means. That's just a standard truism that Sun Tzu and Clausewitz and every military philosopher has acknowledged. You can't treat the military objectives separate from the political objectives, because the military objectives are designed to achieve the political objectives. Netanyahu has stated his political objectives. That is, to return the 60,000 settlers who have been displaced from their homes back to their homes. In order to do that, he says he must defeat Hezbollah. Well, good luck. You tried that in 2006, you being Israel, and it didn't work. You couldn't stop Hezbollah from firing rockets into Israel. And in the end, Israel had to face a humiliating step down from their objectives of destroying Hezbollah. Well, he's done it again. All Hezbollah has to do to win is continue to fire rockets into northern Israel to ensure that the 60,000 settlers who have left their homes can't return home. And that's what's happening. But Hezbollah is also expanding the scope and scale of its strikes. So it's more than likely that tens of thousands of additional Israelis will be compelled to leave their homes, because Hezbollah is now striking targets in the Galilee and near Haifa. And Israel can't stop this. They can't defeat it. Hezbollah has been preparing for this conflict ever since 2006. The conflict ended. They're not stupid. They know what Israel can do. They've been aware of the weapon system Israel has procured. They fully anticipate this. There's nothing that Israel's doing right now that takes Hezbollah by surprise, other than the pager attack, which was an act of terrorism, which Hezbollah is adapted to. Israel now is apparently flooding the Bekaa Valley and other parts of Lebanon with leaflets that have a barcode or a QR code. And I guess in hopes that the person who receives it will get curious about it and click it on. Apparently it activates some sort of mechanism that drains, identifies the phone, drains because when you click on a QR code, you're linking yourself to a site. And that's run by Unit 8200, which will immediately infect your phone, drain the data, and then target you for death. Again, terrorism, because what happens if a kid picks it up and does it? What happens if a nurse, a doctor, somebody innocent picks it up and does it? It's just part and parcel of the Israeli approach to this conflict, which is to be in total disregard for human life and for the laws of war.
And do you think, to what extent they're willing to risk a conflict with Hezbollah? Do you think they're going to put troops on the ground if something goes wrong in that direction?
I mean, this morning, Israel indicated it was mobilizing 2 reserve brigades for duty in the north. What that means, we don't know. I can say this: Israel does not have the military capacity to push Hezbollah out of southern Lebanon, north of the Litani River. That's always been a stated military objective of Israel. They lack the capacity to do that. They lack the capacity when their military was intact. But now their military has been fighting for a year. Any forces that are being mobilized, any forces that exist, are exhausted by this conflict, have suffered casualties, have suffered material losses, and have seen the morale of their troops plummet. They can't. I can guarantee you this: short of a few special forces units And even those, I would imagine, have changed their attitude towards this conflict. There's no Israeli force that's saying, I want to go into southern Lebanon. They know that it's a death trap, suicide rap. Don't go in there. It's the same approach they have towards Gaza. There's no Israeli unit other than a handful of special forces units that are saying, I want to go into Gaza. I'm ready for it. They've been to Gaza. They're all dying. They're all being wounded. They recognize the futility of the operation. And so there's a lot of political posturing by Netanyahu, but his war cabinet has rejected his demands for increased military operation. The United States has said no, we're not going to facilitate this. So we'll see. I think a lot of what Netanyahu does is domestic political posturing, designed to create the impression of action when in fact the action is impossible to undertake. We're going to strike Iran. No, you're not. We're going to go to war against Hezbollah. No, you're expanding operations, but it's a carefully managed game of escalation that's taking place right now. That doesn't mean that it can't spin out of control. That doesn't mean that there can't be a miscalculation or a misjudgment. But right now, I think there's more posturing than actual preparation for a full-scale conflict with Hezbollah.
Do you think the reason behind this new wave of tensions is because of these Israelis that they want to send them to the northern part of Israel, or something else?
Say that one more time.
The reason behind this new escalation between Hezbollah and Israel is because of Israelis who are living in the northern part of Israel. That's why they want to send them to the northern part. And at the same time, they want to increase the tensions with Hezbollah because of these people.
I mean, that's the excuse, and it's a real excuse. Netanyahu is feeling serious political pressure domestically from these 60,000 settlers. If you recall, back when the strikes were first coming in out of Hezbollah, the Israelis pretty much abandoned the north in terms of air defense and put it all in the central part to protect it. And the north went, "What are you doing? We exist. We're here." And there's 60,000 settlers who have been compelled to leave their homes because of Hezbollah's actions, who are suffering. They're nobody wants to be a internally displaced person, and yet that's what they are. So there's a lot of pressure being put on Netanyahu to be seen as doing something. You can't just allow this situation to continue. And so he has used this as the excuse, but he needed an excuse. He needed to do something. Notice he didn't initiate this action just with conventional military forces, because that alone would have exposed the emptiness of his rhetoric, because Israel's not prepared to go into full-scale combat with Hezbollah. He initiated by basically nullifying a decades-long intelligence operation to get explosive pagers into the hands of Hezbollah. I believe that such an action was done to disrupt Hezbollah as a precursor to a massive military attack. I mean, because Israel knows Hezbollah is dug in. Hezbollah's got, is ready for them. Hezbollah's been preparing for this. But this pager attack, this walkie-talkie attack, could have created a window of opportunity, a window of chaos, uncertainty, confusion that could have been exploited with lightning attacks, designed to burst through defensive barriers, get in deep into the Litani, disrupt Hezbollah, and maybe, in doing so, put Hezbollah behind the power curve where Hezbollah is reacting to Israel, not Israel reacting to Hezbollah. That's what it was designed to do. He gave it away. He threw it away just to get headlines, to say, oh, look, Netanyahu did something. Israel did something. Oh, they got headlines. Today, it doesn't matter. Hezbollah's adapted. It's over. They threw that away. This tells me that what Netanyahu is doing is more political than military. It's about salvaging his fragile right-wing political coalition. It's about buying time to stave off the domestic attacks that are taking place, political attacks. It wasn't but just a week ago, hundreds of thousands of Israelis are in the streets demanding Netanyahu resign because of the hostage crisis. That hasn't gone away. Now you add to that 60,000 internally displaced persons who are saying, we want to go home. There's a lot of pressure on Netanyahu.